Good morning. Welcome to this morning's session on how to use incentives to drive innovation toward the 2025 goals. The three agencies we've invited to present today have been tremendous partners with the almond industry, providing literally millions, if not tens of millions of dollars each, helping growers innovate and improve their operations. The requests being asked of growers from consumers, regulatory agencies, and neighbors are expansive. Let's be honest, California is not an easy place to grow, but farming has never been the easiest job either. Many of the incentives covered by the agencies today not only help protect the environment and improve sustainability, they can also improve bottom lines, improving, for example, water and nutrient use efficiency and reducing pest damage. Our first speaker will be Aaron Tarango, Grant Program Supervisor at the San Joaquin Valley Air Pollution Control District. Aaron and the district have been great partners in developing pilot programs that address specific needs of the almond industry. For example, we collaborated on new air quality testing of low dust harvesters, resulting in their program to co-fund purchases. Expanded adoption of low dust or even off-ground harvesters is a primary pathway for achieving our 2025 harvest dust goal. Adoption of whole orchard recycling is another key metric for achieving the biomass 2025 goal. For several years, the district has had a pilot program in this area. Whole orchard recycling not only reduces open burning, as the number of cogeneration plants has steadily dropped, and therefore helps to meet air quality standards, it also provides nutrients and improves soil quality, among several other proven benefits. With new grants from the EPA, the district will be expanding the harvester program along with their tractor replacement program. Next, we'll hear from Geetika Joshi, Senior Environmental Scientist with the California Department of Food and Agriculture. Geetika is helping to lead development of the Healthy Soils Incentive Program at CDFA. Healthy Soils is a wide-ranging program which helps fund practices such as cover crops, hedgerows, filter strips, and newly started in 2020, whole orchard recycling. Many of these practices also improve pollinator health, an obvious benefit to almonds. While COVID has impacted funding for this program, we are hopeful that this and all of us can recover in the future. Lastly, we'll hear from Carlos Suarez, out in the field, state conservationist for USDA's Natural Resources Conservation Service in California. NRCS provides well-known and popular irrigation incentives that help meet our 2025 water goal. The Almond Board and NRCS have been working closely to develop new integrated pest management programs that meet the specific needs of almond growers, again, helping to achieve the Pest Management 2025 goal. Fundable practices include help with installation of pheromone-based mating disruption. There are also numerous regional grants and practices that are focused on healthy soils and that address groundwater, overdraft, and recharge. Almond growers should keep an eye out for those opportunities. Lastly, there are opportunities to use the California Almond Sustainability Program, or CASP, to help growers with their applications to NRCS's Conservation Stewardship Program. As you can see, there's a lot of overlap between these programs, so listen to the following three speakers and see which one is a good fit for your operation and for you. If you have any questions, please enter them into the online field and we'll see if we can address them. Thank you and have a great session.
Hello, my name is Aaron Tarango with the San Joaquin Valley Air Pollution Control District. I'm here today to talk about incentive programs we have for the ag community in the San Joaquin Valley. And most importantly, we'll talk about low dust harvesters and replacing ag equipment. Also has to do with ag pumps and whatever other equipment you use out in the field. The most important thing is that you must be an ag operation, as defined by the California Air Resources Board. and you can see here on the slides that are presented to you, but you must be in the business either on field production or a first-time processor to be eligible for any of our programs. Pretty basic for the first slide I talk about is ag equipment replacement, so basically ag tractors. And basically it's anything for the self-propelled. The engine must drive the unit. And most importantly for the ag almond community, we have money to help replace shuttle trucks, sweepers, shakers, self-propelled harvesters, brush shredders, and sprayers that are self-propelled. And you can see the dollar per horsepower we pay per unit. That's of the new unit, not the old. The horsepower of the new unit is what we pay on. A couple key things for the almond group we're talking to today is one is the removal of almond orchards. We do have funding for that to either reincorporate into the soil or non-incorporation of the soil. You see we pay $600 per acre for soil incorporation up to a max of $60,000 and $300 per acre without soil incorporation up to a max of $30,000 per acre. And that's for basically, alternatives to open ag burning. So we're trying to find a way to not burn, to reincorporate this, to chip it, shred it, and reincorporate this back into the soil. The next one that I have is it's very keen to the almond industry is our new program we'll be launching here in late 2020, early 2021, will be the low dose harvesting equipment replacement program. We did a pilot project started in 2018 to learn some more about these units. Based upon that knowledge, we wrote a grant proposal to the United States Environmental Protection Agency, and we were awarded $10.3 million to continue this program. So you'll see shortly it'll be launched. The key is that the incentive will hover around 50% of the eligible cost of the new equipment, and you need to pay attention to this. If you have any questions or concerns, you can go to our website when it gets launched, which is valleyair.org is the website. But basically, it'll encompass anything that either you own the land or you're a custom harvester will be eligible for this program. If you've already purchased a unit, you're not eligible. You must currently have an old unit that can be destroyed. We will destroy the old unit to render it inoperable when the new one is put into place. And like I said before, the incentive will hover right around 50% of the eligible cost. You can get a self-propelled unit, or you can get a pull-behind PTO unit. The only thing we verify is if you're going to pull the PTO unit, you must be pulling it with at least a Tier 3 tractor or better. If you do not have that, then we will run that older tractor through our traditional ag tractor replacement program and replace your tractor at the same time to get the latest and greatest technology out there for you. So we can, they both work hand in hand. Next thing I have is replacing ag pumps out there. I know that there still exist, and a couple of key things we have for you is replacing Tier 3 diesel ag pumps to Tier 4 final ag pumps, or replacing Tier 3 or Tier 4 ag pumps to electric, or Tier 4 final to electric, or natural gas to electric. So we do have those. We do pay a cost of we pay some of the cost for the line extension, where they charge you to go from the pole to the actual unit itself. So that's eligible, and we encourage you to apply for those as well. The next thing I have for you for the ag community is our electrified dairy feed mixing program, where we look at your dairy as a whole, how you feed, and we bring it all in tune to basically get the feeding operation to electrified mixers. They can include tractors, any mobile equipment you have out there that's used in the feeding operation. We'll assess all of it as you come to us, determine what's eligible, what's not, and then pay you up to 65% of the cost to replace that equipment, old diesel equipment, with the new electric equipment out there. The max per ton, the max is 65% of the cost, and up to $30,000 per ton. Those are just some of the highlights of the incentives we have for the ag community. If you have more questions about anything else we have, you can contact me. My name is Aaron Tarango. I'm the supervisor that oversees these programs and many other programs at the district. You can reach me at 559-230-5873, or you can reach Brian Delmanowski at 559-230-6068, and our email addresses are there as well. So if you have any questions, comments, concerns, please let us know if you have questions about these programs and the other programs that kind of piques your interest. And then we also encourage every single application you submit to us for a grant, please submit it to the grants mailbox, which is grants@valleyair.org. It's how we like to talk to most of you guys out there. Like I said, but you can call us anytime. We're here for you to answer any questions about we have programs for lawnmowers. We have programs for gas inserts in your home. We have programs to replace heavy-duty diesel trucks. Also, we have programs if you want to buy an electric car. We can give you some money for help purchase an electric car. So there's many other programs we have out there, but this is basically geared towards the ag community and almonds in general. So we went over most of that today. If you have any questions, please call me at 559-230-5873. Thank you for your time.
Hi, I'm Geetika Joshi from the California Department of Food and Agriculture. And at today's conference, I'll talk to you a little bit about the California Healthy Soils Program and how we have worked with various almond growers and organizations on this program. And then also share with you some resources about funding sources other than the Healthy Soils Program that are available at CDFA. So the Healthy Soils Program stems from the California Healthy Soils Initiative, and this initiative is a collaboration of state agencies and departments as they work on many different topics that relate to soil health. And the incentive program itself, it has been funded since 2016-17, and till date has received $50.5 million in funding through both the California Cap and Trade dollars, which is California Climate Investments, as well as Prop 68. And this program has two different components. There's a direct incentives piece where we have grants up to $100,000 available directly for farmers and ranchers. And the demonstration projects are designed for nonprofits, RCDs, and university organizations to partner with growers and conduct demonstration projects, which include field days and education and outreach events for specific practices. And those projects can be up to $100,000 or up to $250,000 if they include a research and data collection component as well. On the next slide, we have our program website. So I have included some links here. There's a screenshot of our website. And at any time, if you want to come and visit, please do. And really the principle behind the Healthy Soils Program are the Healthy Soils practices. This program incentivizes practices that farmers and ranchers can adopt that can help, build soil organic matter or sequester carbon or reduce greenhouse gases, kind of synonymous terms, and also improve soil health. And so a lot of the practices that are part of the program are tried and tested. They're backed by research to achieve these objectives. And we also have the ability to actually quantify those greenhouse gas reductions that are achieved from the practices through a very easy to use tool called Comet Planner. That I'll cover in a few minutes. And a lot of these practices are also parallel to the USDA NRCS EQIP program, for those of you who are familiar with it. But we do have two practices, compost application and whole orchard recycling, which incidentally a lot of almond growers have adopted. And those practices are currently only supported through the Healthy Soils Program and not EQIP. But folks over at USDA are working on getting those practice standards included in the future. The payments for the Healthy Soils Program are on a standard payment rate, so it's a per acre based rate for the practice that you choose to implement. And these payment rates are based on the EQIP payment rates, so that program also has standard payment rates. EQIP expects to cover about half of the cost and expects cost share. So in our case, we have doubled those costs with the expectation that we may be able to cover the full cost of the practice for the grower. And of course, there are the practices that are not with EQIP. For those, we have developed the rates based on surveys, based on consulting some subject matter experts, some sources like compost facilities, and then also over the years, as practices have been implemented, we have received receipts and invoices. We've tried to update those payment rates as well. So in this slide, I have listed all of the practices that are incentivized by the Healthy Soils Program. We won't go into details for every single one of them, but what I would cover is that the practices are divided into three categories based on the type of farm. So this slide has all the practices that are incentivized for croplands. This next one covers specifically orchards and vineyards, and it includes some practices that are common with croplands, but some that are unique, such as whole orchard recycling. And then finally, our last category is for grazing lands, so rangelands and pastures. And again, some common practices and some that are unique, like silvopasture or prescribed grazing, are included here. Through the demonstration project, Type A, which include that research and data collection component, we also fund some additional practices where we don't have the ability to calculate their greenhouse gas reductions in Comet Planner, but because these are research projects, folks can collect greenhouse gas data and report it back to us. So these are kind of our special category data collection practices that are listed on this slide. And really the principle of enhancing how these practices enhance soil health and how they reduce greenhouse gases is there are a few different ways they achieve that. So either by adding direct addition of carbon-rich amendments like compost or mulch, so that injects the carbon into the soil, or reducing the disturbance of the soil surface, so by reducing tillage or no-till, and we reduce basically the soil organic matter from oxidizing back into the air, or adding temporary or permanent plant biomass, because those plants and their roots, they create a lot of organic matter and a great environment for healthy soil microbes. And so temporary biomass, I mean like cover crops, they're seasonal, but then there can be permanent like tree plantings, hedgerows, windbreaks, etc. And then, of course, there's the category of reducing synthetic nitrogen fertilizer, because that reduces nitrous oxide emissions, and that's also greenhouse gas. And a lot of these practices have many different co-benefits. So again, this is a very busy slide, but I'll just take a couple of examples, like air quality. If we stop tilling, that means we're running the tractor less through the fields. That reduces the diesel use and the diesel-based emissions from the tractor, can improve air quality. Whole orchard recycling, again, is a great example of air quality improvement, because there is, instead of burning the old orchard, it's incorporated back into the soil. So all that particulate matter from burning is avoided, and so on. And there are benefits for water quality by reducing nitrogen, or just in general improving soil structure by reducing erosion and compaction and sediments. So lots of different ways that these practices have co-benefits. And then in this slide, we've included the link for the Comet Planner tool. So you can visit this tool, and it's a really easy to use tool where someone just needs to select the county of their project, choose the practice they're interested in, and enter how many acres, and it will give you a greenhouse gas calculation. We also have some co-benefit calculators that can calculate some of those co-benefits I was talking about. Although these the co-benefits calculator, we don't require the applicants to use it. It's something that once an application comes in or gets selected for award, CDFA staff can run this calculation and estimate those co-benefits. So in terms of funded projects, since 2016-17, we've funded 576 incentive projects across the state for up to $34 million. And 67 demo projects. And we wanted to run some numbers for you at the almond conference today. So, in the first year, we had 11 almond projects for 300,000. And by that most recent round in 2020, that number had grown to 107 with $8 million in funding. And a big difference here was that whole orchard recycling, which was earlier not included in the program. And then it took us some time to model, the greenhouse gases for that and include it in the program. It seems like it became very popular with folks. And so I've also included some examples. The practices that almond growers have most chosen seem to be compost application, cover crops, planting hedgerows, windbreaks, mulching, no-till, putting in riparian forest buffers, and then, of course, whole orchard recycling. So in this slide, I've included a link. We have several very short videos of folks who have received Healthy Soils grants, just talking about their experience. So I will leave this link here with you. And if any of you are interested in checking out, you can please visit our YouTube channel and see some of those videos. And then I'll take a few minutes talking about our demonstration projects. So as I had mentioned, the demonstration projects have to have these on-farm, practice implementation and then field days. And we require that field days include at least 120 different farmers and ranchers through the 3-year period of the grant. Of course, this year with COVID, that has changed, and many of the field days have been conducted on remote platforms like Zoom or Skype or other types of ways. And what we ask is that in those field days, the grant recipients talk about how they implemented the practice, what were the benefits, what worked, what didn't work, just so that they can share that info with their fellow growers, and hopefully everyone can learn from each other. And in some cases, those who have capacity, some grant recipients are able to provide that outreach and education in different languages as well. And we maintain a list of these field days on our website. So I've included the link for that website here, and you can check it and see if there's a field day happening on a particular practice in your county, and then you can take the information from there and think about attending one to explore how the practices go. And the last piece that I wanted to touch upon briefly is technical assistance. So, we understand that these applications for Healthy Soils Program are sometimes not the easiest or most convenient to prepare. So we do have several different resources available to growers to seek technical assistance in preparing their application and then also implementing their project. So we have climate smart agriculture communication education specialists who are housed at the University of California Cooperative Extension. And this map here, it shows all of the different counties where they currently have staff coverage through these. And then, of course, we also fund technical assistance providers through a separate grant program. And there's a list of these technical assistance providers available on this link that I have on the website. So there are two different resources, but hopefully lots of coverage available in majority of our agricultural counties through these two resources. And TA providers have been very helpful. In last year, in this 2020 round, they conducted 40 workshops to assist applicants and helped assist in the submission of over 150 applications. Compared that to CDFA conducted 4 workshops of their own, so it's really an enhancement to add that many more. And they were able to provide help in different languages too. So with that, I'm close to wrapping up. But I've included a list of some other funding opportunities at CDFA that might be helpful for almond growers. There's the State Water Efficiency and Enhancement Program, or SWEEP. That's another program in our office and helps funding for more efficient irrigation systems that save water and greenhouse gases. And we funded 217 projects on almond orchards through SWEEP over the years. There's also the Specialty Crop Block Grant Program, which is funded through federal funding, and they fund, both technical research and marketing type projects for all kinds of specialty crops, including almonds. The Fertilizer Research and Education Program, again, there's research and outreach education related funding available specifically for more efficient fertilizer use for different crops, again, including almonds. And then the Proactive Integrated Pest Management Solutions Program, as well as the Biologically Integrated Farming Systems Program. These are both more targeted towards pesticide management solutions and grants, and those are housed under our Office of Pesticide Consultation and Analysis. So with that, I will wrap up, but I will note, Healthy Soils Program and SWEEP are funded through our cap and trade funds. And due to COVID this year, we did not receive funding in this year's budget. So unfortunately, we won't have next year of funding, but we're hoping that in next year's budget, more funds will come through. So while we wait for that funding opportunity, we wanted to share some of these other opportunities that you might be interested in. And the last slide, we have our email address for the Healthy Soils Program. If you have any questions, you can always contact us and just all of the team members who make this program happen at CDFA. So with that, I would like to thank you all for your attention, and then we will take some questions from the panel. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. This is Carlos Suarez, NRCS State Conservationist in our great state of California. I want to thank you so much for allowing the time for me today to speak to you about our programs and the collaboration that have existed for decades. We have, and I treasure very much the collaboration, partnership that we have between NRCS and our almond growers in this great state. I want to take the opportunity to speak not only about the conservation practices that we have, but also about the programs that have existed for decades now and continue to provide assistance to farmers, ranchers, forest land owners, and in this case, almond growers. Some of the things that I have seen, not only at the local level, and you have seen at the local level, also at the state level, is collaboration from local state agencies assisting you in providing conservation on the ground. At the federal level, at NRCS, we continue to provide practices and programs that, when used and utilized, are investment in our conservation of natural resources. Some of them are through the Environmental Quality Incentive Program, the Conservation Stewardship Program, Conservation Innovative Grants, and also our Regional Conservation Partnership Program. In addition to that, we have practices that not only have existed for quite some time, that we provide assistance to you in air quality, in integrated pest management, also groundwater and water conservation. I want to take the opportunity today, due to the time, to focus on the Farm Bill programs that we have. Also, some of the conservation practices that we have utilized in the past that some of you may not be aware of, and some new and innovative practices that we have developed in coordination with our partners to assist you in protecting our natural resources. So speaking about the Farm Bill programs, I mentioned EQIP, CSP, RCPP, CIE, among others. On the Environmental Quality Incentive Program, in the past year, we have invested over $94 million protecting over 407,000 acres of land. In 2020, we received a substantial amount of Conservation Stewardship Program funding, and we spent almost $8.2 million. Our goal for fiscal year 21, that started in October 1st, is to actually double that amount. And by doubling, not only on the dollar amount, but also in the number of participants and acres that will be protected under this very valuable program. Conservation planners can help find the best program to support your management objectives. I certainly encourage you to visit our offices to do that. On the Regional Conservation Partnership Program, there has been over $7.6 million obligated through 178 contracts, protecting over 45,000 acres. This is a substantial investment in conservation, focusing on areas within the state, and this is a very important program that will continue to yield fruits along the way in subsequent years. Partnership leverage is key to support and provide unique opportunities to growers. I mentioned the Conservation Innovative Grants, and this is a public and private sector innovation in resource conservation. California in the last year has spent over $750,000 through this program. Nationally, $15 million, and on the farm trials, over $25 million. This is a program that California partners have delivered consistently, working in coordination with other partners and with NRCS to find the best innovations in conservation. I want to focus on the natural resources that we're protecting through many of those programs. Through the air quality, the Environmental Quality Incentive Program applies air quality practices towards a variety of treatments intended to reduce agricultural air pollution. It is offered statewide. Proposals for using low-dust harvesters within any PM-designated non-attainment area of California will receive a higher priority. Improving diesel exhaust emission is accomplished by replacing with new-like equipment powered by the cleanest emissions certified non-road diesel engines available. New to this year is the ship and incorporate orchard biomass on site to avoid burning and return tree carbon to the soil. I'm sure you will agree with me that one of the key resources that you deal with on a daily basis is water. NRCS wants to help producers reduce water use by improving system efficiency, either by the entire system or component upgrades. NRCS can also help you with irrigation water management by optimizing irrigation scheduling with increased soil moisture monitoring that assists the producer to decide when to irrigate. On the groundwater component, NRCS is developing new standards, and through the EQIP program, we are putting procedures in place to help irrigation districts and producers address groundwater overdraft in their areas. NRCS plans to provide incentives for recharging aquifers using managed aquifer recharge or dedicated recharge basins. Another area where NRCS continue providing support to almond growers is in the implementation of integrated pest management practices and also enhancing pollinator habitat. NRCS is working hand in hand with almond growers in the adoption of comprehensive IPM practices that ranges from prevention, avoidance, monitoring, and suppression activities. Also, the use of non-chemical pest control options is in our array of conservation practices. In addition, we utilize mulch and cover cropping for weed control. And increasing pollinator habitat, we're planting plants that enhance and provide benefits to insects. In closing, I want to thank you so much for allowing the time to participate in this very important panel today. It's decades of collaboration between almond growers, tree nut producers, and NRCS that have got us into where we are today, this very strong partnership in California. I want to encourage you to visit our local field offices. We have remained open even through the pandemic, providing technical and financial assistance to our farmers, our ranchers, forest owners, our almond growers, tree nuts producers. Go to your local field office if you haven't done so. Contact your district conservationist, your local staff. Seek that technical assistance and that financial assistance that we have available to continue providing support to you to implement the best conservation practices in the land. Thank you so much for allowing me the time again, and I wish you the best of success in the rest of your conference. Thank you.
All right. Well, I hope you enjoyed those presentations, learned something, and are able to take some of those incentive opportunities into your own operation. I really want to thank Aaron, Gitika, and Carlos for taking the time to prepare these for the Almond Conference. And I hope you have a great rest of the Almond Conference. Thank you very much, and thanks again to our speakers.